guess who has her stomach one more morning? I ate a sausage pie because I was very hungry. I had to take a headache pill. It's my last days of my period. I think I have to reconnect these. I was gonna play Star Wars today or tonight, whatever, but I am feeling downloading data. Okay, so until it downloads, I'm gonna talk. I have my cola here and I have my last days of my period. This is a standard Coca-Cola, it's not like a Pepsi, and I have it because of my stomach. And yeah, the problem with my stomach is that I don't know, like it comes and goes, I suppose. I don't know what's the matter with it. But yeah, I was thinking of filming some Star Wars, but I don't really have the appetite. I wanted to do some Minecraft. I didn't do it earlier. Like during the day, usually I play some, I watch some video, thinking, you know, like something tutti frutti pretty much. So like my mind gets in the creative mode of fixing something on Minecraft. But today I didn't do it. I didn't just like, I was too tired for that, so I didn't. I just played some Wall Crash on my phone. Okay, so we're updating it. Yep. So I just played Wall Crash on my phone, and I was like, that's it for today. I'm not gonna do anything else. I'm just gonna settle in here, not doing anything else with gaming. I was even thinking of filming some Wall Crash. It's, I don't know, kind of like addicted, addictive, right? Yeah, addicting to me. Addicting or addictive? Hold on. Hmm. Addicting. I think. I think. I think. Um. Yeah. Not my native language. If you ask me, how would you call that in Greek? Ethistiko. Where's my accent? Ethistiko. I don't know what's wrong with me. Um. If I had to call it in spirit tongue, let's do that as well. Like, can't you say this game is addicting in spirit language? Um, I don't think there is something you can say in such a concept, like like if I had to discuss this with my father is my father. I'm not really thinking, you know, too much when I'm speaking with him. I'm just speaking. You can say whatever you wanna say to God. That's what I mean. Like when you speak to Yahweh, say whatever the fuck you wanna say to him because he's God. So, like, you can speak Indian, you can speak Madagascarian, you can speak English, you can speak Russian, you can speak like Italian, any language, Martian even. He will understand. You don't have to have a specific vocabulary to talk to my dad. My dad says thank you. So that's the one thing. So we are inside the house. Okay. I was thinking of building a car park. Oh, we have to sleep. We have to sleep first. Okay. Let's go up. Um, well, if you ask me about my dad, if you ask about Satan, you ask about Zeus, that's a different story. You have a vocabulary with him. Now, I don't know exactly how I could say like this game is addicting to Satan, to Zeus. Like if you are a pagan, these are like a combination of words that. What's wrong here? Oh, Okay, I broke something here. I have to fix that. Okay, hold on a second. So, as I said earlier, that's a combination of banned words. You don't exactly say these words to him if you are a pagan. Like, and if pagans do it, I salute your courage. Okay, I'm gonna explain why. Why? Okay, so. Uh, Gaming is not something exactly that Satan is banning. Like, he's not gonna come to you and say in whatever form you worship him. If you worship him like as a Buddhist, if you worship him as a pagan, like, I mean, if you talk to him, you can be whatever person and still talk to him. That's what I mean, like Christian, Jewish, whatever, you can talk to him. Like, just read the Bible, he can talk to anybody in terms of, like, deceive. So, if we speak about, I'm just inspecting the territory where to put my car park. Okay, so I'm gonna put it, I think I'm gonna put it here. So, um if you ask, like, in terms of, like, vocabulary, he wouldn't exactly come and say, like, stop playing video games. No, he's seductive. I read somewhere, I think in a picture that I posted the other day, I'm not quite sure. um Satan is seductive. Evil is seductive. Is seductive. It is a picture that I saw online the other day. As I said, evil is seductive. It's not gruesome when you look at it. So he's not gonna come and say stop playing video games. No, he's not gonna do that. He's gonna come and say, does this game honor me? And when he says me, he says God. He plays God when he does that. So when he will come to you, he won't exactly say, like, stop playing games. Well, theoretically he can, but that's not how he will convince you. He will try to guilt trip you first. He hasn't done it to me personally. I'm just explaining from stuff that I have heard online from Christians, that probably he has done it to them. My father says, what do you mean? I mean, there are Christians out there. We just terraform here for the parking, okay? So there are Christians out there who say that God told me, stop playing video games. Why are you playing Assassin's Creed, for example? So that's not a delusion. At least when they, it depends how you describe it. Like, if somebody describes it weirdly enough, I can say that they are trying to guilt trip and shit. I can say that, but until I have proof about it, I can't say it like that. Like, he talks on his own or he talks with Satan. I have to have proof. Like, I have to see the speech first, the spirit speech, if there is spirit speech or claimed spirit speech. I can tell you if he spoke or not. Well, that's the point, I suppose, of it. Apart from that, if you ask me about, like, if you told him, I like this game, you don't really do that. He's not Yahweh. He's not Yahweh. You can't really do that. Like, that's what I mean, okay? So you don't expect to go and say, like, I like Minecraft. No. You are supposed to worship him. You're not supposed to fool around with gaming. That's number one rule. That's why I always say, like, be careful what type of deity you have in your head. Like, that's not how Yahweh is. I think so, at least, part of his idea of putting me to play a game, I think, has to do with the fact that people have weird ideas about him out there, that he bans games and shit, and, like, he wants me to prove otherwise, pretty much, if that makes sense to you. That he's not that type of person, that he doesn't really ban such stuff that people like to do. that's the point. I think personally speaking, I mean. But apart from that, if you ask me about I have an addiction as a sentence, can you say that to Satan? If I were you, no, I wouldn't do that. Well, don't talk to him for one thing, don't talk to him. The other thing is he if you don't want him to go ballistic that you have an addiction, I think your best interest is not to say anything, like pretend it doesn't exist, that's what I mean. But as I said, don't talk to him. But in a practical level, like, okay, stop fooling around here, stop laughing, that's what I mean. What do you say to him about your addiction? If you are a pagan, like, let's say hypothetically a pagan wants to say, like, Zeus, I have an addiction, can they do that? No, doesn't work like that. You don't go to him to heal you. There was a pathetic pagan on my post the other day. I spoke about a woman from the Nordic pantheon. She said that the gods are not your therapists. Yeah, that's what I mean. You don't do that with Zeus. If you have an addiction with him, do your shit, pray to him that he will give you the strength to battle the addiction that you have, not that he will take it away. And there are some instances that some people say, like, God took my addiction from me. With all due respect, crap. No, that doesn't happen. Sometimes God, like Yahweh, that's what I mean, Yahweh takes stuff from people because he's God, like, like he was with the, like, how's that called in English? A disabled man who was with the bed on the roof. He healed that guy, no problem, of course. I don't mean that. I mean practically, in a level like, will I have a cure for my addiction to drugs? I don't think that Yahweh sees such stuff as aka addiction. Why? Because if he saw that as an addiction, as you call it addiction, I don't know if you understand what I mean. I mean in the sense of, okay, let's put something else, like put stone. Let's put stone, I don't know. Polished and stone. Polished turf. Stone. Turf. Hold on, I'm gonna come back to the topic. I'm gonna put some smooth stone. Yeah, it looks nice. Do I like it though? Yeah, I like it. Why not? So, yeah, if you called it an addiction like that, that means that you are sinning. That's what I mean. Like, he took it away because I am sinning. No, he wouldn't give you such an example that you are sinning. No. And that's why there are many people who say, I prayed my addiction will go away and didn't go, because you are not sinning, bestie. You're not sinning. If you are addicted to drugs, you have serious issues to solve in terms of your soul is in pain. And I'm not saying this like ironically. You have, like, psychological issues to solve in terms of you are having, like, battles no human person knows of, and that's serious shit. I'm not saying it like deal with your bullshit. I'm not saying that. I'm just clarifying here. No, I'm saying it in the sense of you wouldn't do that if you didn't have a serious problem. So to say dad took away your addiction is like saying he doesn't care that you are using a substitute for your problem. Like you have a problem, you have like a trauma, you have like, you feel an abandonment, you feel like you're battling your demons, and the only thing he cares about is if you are consuming a substance. That's bullshit. If he has to take something from you, that's the trauma, the memory, the 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 demon that you are battling, not the substitute. My father says thank you. That's what I mean. That's what I mean. So you can't say he will take it. Why didn't he take it? I am sinning. No, 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 no. That's why I said there is different vocabulary in the pagan world. In the pagan world, you are praying for strength from Zeus. You are not praying that, like, how's that called? Let's make a car, by the way. Let's make a white car. We're gonna make a white car. So you are not, you are, I wanna see all of them first, and then I'm gonna decide which one I like. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Block of cards. I like this one. Okay, like this one. So to say that, as I said, is like saying he doesn't care you have an issue, pretty much. So if you ask me, Helga, then Helga, what is your point of the video? Like, should I like continue? I'm saying I don't wanna take like, I'm not gonna say to anybody do this or do that. That's the point of the video. My point is, stop punishing yourself that you're doing something sinful. You're not. I'm just saying, if you feel like you're okay as you are, that's fine. You're not sinning. That's the point of the video. You're not sinning. Now, if you wanna change for personal reasons, like you feel like you don't wanna do this anymore and you don't have strength, ask my dad for strength, or for my dad to take away the, like, how's that called? The sense of, like, guilt. If you have guilt in your heart, tell him to remove that. Like, I heard this is not a sin according to the Mosaic law, it's not a sin according to the New Testament. Just show me that I shouldn't feel like that. Take my guilt away. Make me aware that I'm okay, I am loved as I am. So that's about my dad. Just to recapitulate, because I wanna build and I can't really concentrate by talking. So if you wanna do that, do that. If you think, no, I wanna continue, I just don't wanna have guilt, ask my dad to remove the guilt, show you who you are inside his kingdom, pretty much, okay, as a child of God. And if you're like, I wanna continue, but I am afraid, just acknowledge inside of you your death is not something you can cause to yourself. That's something that the Bible writes specifically, explicitly. It states in the Psalms, it's from King David, I don't remember exactly the number, I think 130 something, or something after 100, I'm not quite sure the number. It says, all my days are written in your book. You put me in my mother's womb. The Formless is what your eyes show from my body. Acknowledge in your heart you can't die just because you are doing something. Yes, Helga, but many people die when they are doing that. No, not many people die when they do drugs. No, bestie. They die because God takes them. You see a statistic. Statistic is something that Satan loves to like perpetuate, like many people die because of that, so if you do it you will also die. Yeah, statistically it looks like, but no, you shouldn't trust statistics. Statistics is mathematics. Mathematics equals Satan. There are many addicts in this world that could have died, should have died according to the statistics, and they don't. They haven't, and they will continue not to. Why? Because, controversial or not, the the day of your death is not something you decide, it's something God has written in his book, so you can't change that. Whatever you do, if you say, look, I wanna do that, and see, if God wants you to continue living, you will. That's what I mean. And Helga, people who die, why God takes them, I don't know specifically for each person, but because Yahweh is my best friend, I know, like we have discussed that with him. That's what I mean. He has told me that there are times that people commit suicide and he takes them because he says, that's what he told me, like I asked him, like, why you do that. He said, because I know they don't want to live anymore and they want to come to me, and I say, okay, you will be better with me. So it's not a change of a plan. It's not a change of a plan. My father knows already they would do that. He just takes them. You think he decides it that day. No, he doesn't. He doesn't. He respects human will, but at the same time, this is written in his book. I can't explain it better. I know many people confuse it and they say, why human will is real if God's will is also real. Yeah, I understand why many people might confuse it. The one doesn't cancel the other. Yes, you have free will, but God knows already what you will decide, even if you don't know you're gonna decide it. So it is written in his book already. It is his will, like agreeing with your will. So in another scenario, if somebody wants to commit suicide and God is like, no, I'm not gonna do that to you, God knows that this person one day he will thank them and he will say, better for me I didn't die because I met a woman and I married her, for example. I'm giving a stupid example. So he knows all outcomes. So when something happens, it's because it is written in his book. It's not because like randomly you popped on this planet, any shit can happen. No, 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 no. That's why he's God. That's why he's God. It's not a cause and effect like that. That's what I mean. Okay. So that's something I know from him. So if you do drugs and you're like, I feel guilty, just ask him to remove the guilt and live your death. There was a woman in Germany, like in before the war, Germany back then in 1980s, 1970s. Her name was Christiane. She's still alive. She's still doing drugs. She's called the queen, the junkie queen of heroin, I think. I'm not quite sure. You can search her up. She was in. Um, where did I read about her? Um, Reuters, I think so. So you can Google Christiane, Germany, drug addict. You can find this woman. I read her book when I was 12. She was a teenager, 13, 14, and she was a prostitute and a drug addict. She went to rehab multiple times. She should have died. Her first boyfriend, her best friend, they all died from drugs. Her long-time boyfriend managed to survive the ordeal. I learned it very recently. Detlef was his name. He is a bus driver in a school today. He has a family, but he has no connection with her anymore. But he was her long-time boyfriend, and she went on to make a family, divorce, I think. I'm not quite sure about that. She has a son who is estranged to her, because of her addiction, like they don't really go very well. They don't get along very well, as far as I know. Until I read, maybe they have reconciled. The son is about a little older than me, like 5-6 years older than me, as far as I remember. They, I think so, at least. Like, I wanna believe so. I'm not quite sure. That's what I say. So, but she still does drugs. She still does drugs from time to time, as she said, and she said she's like around 60, I think. She doesn't have almost any problems with her health. She had some very serious problems, hepatitis, the usual stuff that addicts have usually. Like she had like her visits in the hospital, but at the same time she's alive, she's well, she's flourishing. And yeah, she gave her interview and she said, yeah, that's my life. And she said about the old place that she was going when she was a teenager. It was like a disco back then in the 80s. She was going there, she was doing drugs or something like that, I'm not quite sure, but she said today it is a Primark. And I find it very ironic, like very crazy, like how much changed in just 20-30 years pretty much. And she said like today there is no disco anymore there, like my memories today they have a Primark. And I'm like, fuck, that's crazy, that's crazy. But yeah, she's a very nice woman. I really like Christiane. She really had a very nice personality in her book. And as I said, I explained her here to show you that no, you don't die just because you are doing drugs. No, people have to realize that eventually, and don't have the guilt inside of them that they are doing something evil. They're gonna die as a punishment, because ultimately when you say I will die, it's because you think God will punish you. My father says thanks Helga, and he asks why you say so. Because that's why I say about statistics has to do with Satan. My father says thank you. So when you think statistics, even if you don't name exactly Satan or God in it, and you say probably the statistics say I will die, you are inviting this idea in your head that there is something like a divine consequence, like a divine timing. I don't know how to describe it better so you understand what I mean, but you think that there is something like cosmic, pretty much, like a divine, like divine frame, pretty much, like something like an order of things. Because uh, as a person who knows Satan, he likes to present himself as a deity type of person who can see the end of the things. He can see patterns. He is a very clever person, I can tell you. He's very clever. He's using this cleverness that he has to prove to you that he understands patterns pretty much better than you do. So when you say, for example, I wanna do drugs, he will say statistics show that if you do drugs you will die. So where exactly he's saying he knows better than you? In the statistics. He doesn't say like, I know you hurt and I wanna be here for you, don't feel like you are alone. You are never alone, I am always here for you. He doesn't say that. He says statistics say if you do drugs you are going to die. So what do you have here? You have a person stating that your judgment is limited. You don't have a person saying I love you. Why this is problematic? Because if you take him seriously, you're gonna feel even worse about yourself, that you don't know good enough as he does. And that's problematic, obviously. I'm trying to think how to make the car better. I think that's like a pullman at this point. I think 2 is enough. So, as I was saying, yeah, that's how he works. So he's very clever at this point. That's what I mean. He's a very clever person. He's very witty. He's very eccentric, I think is pronounced it, ekendrikos in Greek. So he will come and he will say, don't do drugs. Statistics show you will die. People end up in hospitals. They have issues with their health, issues with the police. He's presenting a very logical sequence. And again, as you can see, I'm not saying he's wrong. I'm saying his pattern is toxic. He doesn't say like a father, look, you wanna be cool for your peers. You don't have to do something you don't wanna do or feel pressure to change just because of some people that are in your same age, the same age as you. No, be who you are, stay firm in who you are, and invite the others to mimic you. Don't mimic others and wanna have friends just because you won't have otherwise, but you have to cut yourself to fit into their mold. No, he's not gonna say that. No, and he's not gonna say either, I know you have a trauma, I know you feel lonely, I know this, that about you, I understand you, I am here for you, you are never alone, you are not doing something bad, I will always be here to support you. If you need anything, just tell me. This is what Yahweh is doing. Satan is not doing that. He's only coming to tell you, you are, according to the statistics, you're going to die. He's prophesying pretty much something, and if it comes true, then people say, he's God because he said something that happened. No, he's not God. He just said something that statistically makes sense, and we shouldn't say something is correct just because statistically it makes sense. No, statistically I can say God says that Donald Trump is gonna become the US president, and then he becomes, and you say Kamala Harris was never from God to become a prime minister. I always use this example because it's a very good one. It doesn't work like that with Yahweh. No, it can be me who just say I want Donald Trump to become a president. He becomes a president, and then I present it as a prophecy. No, it's not a prophecy. It was made by me, made by Helga, but because it happened, I'm putting it in brackets like Fitzgerald. Just because it happened, you think I am a prophet. No, I'm not. I just said something from my heart, but because it makes sense, because it happened, you think now I am a prophet. No, I'm not a prophet. That's what I mean. Hope it makes sense to you. But if I go back to Christiane and all that, how to recognize that this dude you talk about right now is actually... Do I like this design? No, I don't. I'm gonna switch to regular blocks then. So, how to distinguish that this person is Satan is this in terms of speech, but how you approach him? No, you're not gonna tell this guy, I don't want to, like, I don't want to have this addiction anymore. No, if you say this game is addicting, no, don't do that. Don't do that. But if you go and tell him, I want the strength to battle it, that is permissible. But if you wanna hear specific wording, because you have specific wording in paganism, even Jesus said that don't speak to God your Father like the pagans talk to their gods. Don't do that. He says talk freely to God. I'm gonna build it again, I don't like it. So he says how we should speak to God, and that's how you speak to God. I have a problem, help me, like you would talk to me. To Satan, if you are praying to Zeus, you say, I have an issue, give me the strength to battle it. My issue is a passion of my flesh. That's how you call it with Satan. You have a passion from your flesh. Does this remind you something? Yeah. It's how Christians talk about Yahweh. That's what I wrote in my dissertation. And yes, it is disgusting. It is disgusting. That's why I wrote my dissertation. Because they have made Satan their Yahweh, and that's not cool. That's not cool at all. Okay, so can you say you have an addiction with games? That's the conclusion. No. You can say you have a lustful passion of your heart and you need fixing. You have to fix it. You need his help to do that. And help me fix it. That's the only thing you're permitted to say with him. You can't say anything else. So, to answer the question, yeah, you say, I have a passion. Please help me fix it. Give me the strength to fix it. That's it. That's how you say it. That's how you say it. You can't say anything else pretty much. Right? So now I'm gonna, and why I say all this? I'm saying all this so you don't go to him, so you will stay with my Father, Yahweh. You're not gonna go to Satan. You're gonna stay with Yahweh, and you're gonna hear from Yahweh, talk with Yahweh, and have no guilt inside your heart that you are sinning. That's why I said all this. So now we're gonna fix the car, I suppose. Fuck. Okay, we're breaking the car, obviously. When I finish this, I'm gonna go to bed. So now it's getting dark again. It didn't. Okay. Okay. It's not gonna be perfect. Obviously, it's Minecraft. It's not even working. How can you make like this car work? No, you can't. But let's make it presentable at least. I've made another one before, but it's in another territory, not in here. I'm gonna put a... Can I put that? I don't know. No. I'm trying to put it on the other side. Like, can I possibly... Cool. I have to decide to realize that it's not gonna be perfect because I act like it can be, but it can't. It's not a real car. Let's put a carpet so we cover everything up. Here, like this. Okay, so let's put some buttons to make them look like lights, I suppose. Hopefully I can put them. That's the car. So now let's finish building here. Hold on, I have some itchy eyes. I'm gonna put some eye drops. I don't know what's wrong with me, maybe sweating. I would definitely do the trick. So let's fix that. Let's cut the tree. Last time we sleep and then we stop the game. Let's fix this here. No. make some with this. Collect the eggs as well, and let's put some glass. Okay, so this is ready. Oopsie. Now it's fully ready. Okay, so let's see it. So we go inside, and here is the car parked, and we have the door, and this is our house as well, and we have a tree in here. So that was the video for today. Hope you enjoy it, and I will see you tomorrow, probably with Star Wars or with anything that comes to my mind. We can also fix more of this house. Okay, so bye from me, bye from my dad as well.